And then let me share my screen. Now let me put this in slideshow and let me admit my students. Okay. And so this is how it's going to work. I want to do a short little introduction to small business marketing, and we're going to get rocking and rolling, and then we'll go from there. So I believe there's two kinds of people in this world: those who love marketing and those who don't yet know they love marketing. And while I find you here, you might not be a lover of marketing. Before this project is over, I hope to bring you to our side of the ledger. Welcome. Hard to believe, this is the 6th cohort of this project. Now, the amazing thing is, hold on a second here. Let me get rid of this. I want to welcome back, first, Mark Yoder, the man who was behind our first cohort. Way back then, he was working at the Chamber of Commerce. And so he, Patty Diggin, Cottrell Center, if you ever had a chance to stop by the business building, you saw the first Friday video of our president, Chris Fiorentino, talking about this first project. And then I'm welcoming back a client from that first cohort, Brandywine Valley Heating and Air Conditioning. They would like to do it again, and I was happy to include them because since that first time, I've hired them as my own heating and air conditioning company. So I want to stop sharing for a second here because I want Katie, who is the current GWCC president, to maybe unmute herself and say a few words about this before we kick off the 6th one.
Thank you, Professor Elmer, very much. Your energy is contagious. I just want to congratulate all of the businesses and organizations that have been selected to be part of the spring program with Professor Elmer and his class. And I also want to just thank all of the students that are here that are going to be part of this program. As you know, this is a partnership between Westchester University and the Greater Westchester Chamber of Commerce that has been very successful. And thank you to Mark Yoder, who sat in this seat prior to me and got this all started. So great opportunity for us to partner with the university and to provide additional value to our member businesses in working with each of you, the students, to come up with these marketing plans. So know that this is an invaluable program for our members, and they are really looking forward to working with the teams in your class. So thank you for all the work that you're gonna be doing over the next couple weeks. Thank you to our members who are gonna engage with the students. We're really excited to see what you can produce for our members. So thank you.
All right, now let me get back to the presentation. Hold on one second. All right, hold on. Let me move this over here. Got to get this. Oh man. Okay, so everybody received homework from me. I can't be a very good teacher if I don't give you homework. And this article was written by my friend, Samuel Brealey. He does marketing to small and medium-sized enterprises in England. And I thought this was a great introduction to our project because he talks about marketing for the little guy. And the questions that are asked in that article are going to be the same questions we ask you and work with you to come up with answers. So my agenda is simply these 3 things. We're going to talk about Modern Marketing 101. It might have been a long time since you've been in college. Let me tell you, marketing is not the same, although many things do remain. And then next, the scope of this project. And last but not least, the next steps. So here's a truth. It has never been easier to start a business than today. And by the way, I will be giving you these slides. No reason for you to take notes. At the end of this presentation, I will mail them to you, as well as put them in our group Dropbox. So anyway, it's never been easier to start a business than today. Why? We get a laptop, connect to an internet connection, we can start immediately selling something. But it's also never been harder to grow and sustain a business than today. In the 1950s, Fortune 500 companies lasted 60 years on average. Today, on average, for the Fortune 500 companies, at most, they last 20 years. We all know about technology's disruption and how it kills off older companies. But let's talk about new businesses. We are at an all-time 40-year low in new business creation in the United States. The number of companies less than a year old has declined as a share of all businesses by 44%. And I think you can trace back 8 of the top 10 reasons for this failure to bad marketing. Failures that could have been avoided with good marketing. Finding the right market need, not getting out competed, doing pricing and cost correctly, having a business model that stands up, being user-friendly, taking care of your customers, and all that other stuff. Look, if you do big M, strategic marketing, the stuff you see on the left side, right, you will not waste at least half of your budget doing the stuff on the right side, the tactics, the small M's. You see, I worked at a big company. Cardone Industries had 4,000 employees. They were doing $500 million when I left, which is amazing because when I started there wasn't 100 employees. We were doing about 50 million. Being able to see the impact I had on that growth was very rewarding. But I'll tell you, these big companies are concerned with making the board of directors happy, appeasing the shareholders, satisfying the many layers of bosses over top of you, satisfying existing preconceptions, winning awards, getting buy-ins from stakeholders and committees. Oh, by the way, make a profit. Small businesses have these top 3 marketing priorities: make a profit, make a profit, make a profit. And so this class that you are joining today is Marketing Strategy and Planning. It is the capstone class that each marketing senior takes to learn how to manage marketing management out in the marketplace when they leave here. It is the blueprint by which the firm plans to compete. So what's its purpose? Why does it exist? Marketing drives profit and loss at the firm. We are team revenue. Marketing is the strategic growth engine of your business. We know businesses make money simply by taking revenues minus costs. We come up with our profit. Our job as marketers is to move economic value up. You see, cost of goods sold, price, perceived value. If we can get that perceived value to move up, we'll make more money. Here's another illustration of real ROI on building a brand. That AirPods Max, when it was released to the marketplace, they came out $549. No one had heard of them. They just knew they were tied into the AirPods, that crazy product that Apple created that you see in everybody's earlobes. They sold out immediately. Bose, who I bought my wife Bose headphones. In fact, if you go online, you can see there is a comparison of Bose to AirPods Max. I just don't see it being worth $549. But that's the brand power of Apple. Tom Fishburne, the marketunist, is somebody you want to follow. This, in a cartoon, illustrates the challenge we all face. The shopper, the prospect, our customer looks out through their glasses. Let's say this is a shelf of cereals, and you are a cereal manufacturer. They can't see any of those other brands. only the usual brand and the brand that's on sale. Now, in my class, we're more around the Ben and Jerry model than the get big, fast Amazon model. I believe teaching us how to grow slowly, organically, and profitably through marketing is the best course of action. You know, in our business building, our management majors, our accounting majors, we're all talking about strategy. There's a corporate strategy at the top of the chain. Then there's a small business unit strategy, and underneath it, the functional strategy. But I'm going to argue marketing strategy is the business strategy for everything, because marketing is everything, because it's all about customers. What's our market? What's our product, our advantage? How do we do it? Our mix, our company, the results, etc. The schematic I use to teach marketing strategy formation is from the Harvard School of Business. In fact, no professor receives credit for this. The whole business school of Harvard has been teaching this model forever. And here, from the latest marketing strategy textbook that I received last week to review, this is a new take on this classic schematic. Another way, looking at the schematic at the top down to profits. That's how we arrive at profits. The only capturing value in this chart is pricing. Everything else is creating value and sustaining value at the bottom. So here's the relationship of the 6 parts. I'm not going to read this to you, but I love this cartoon because this illustrates the 3 places businesses enter into marketing land. I'm going to start with businesses at the bottom. Product. Cardone Industries is a place I worked at most of my career. That's what they were, product driven, not customer driven. And now you're getting marketers that are stuck on promotion. Not only promotion, but specifically the D part of promotion, digital. But I'm going to tell you, where we're starting, where we're going to work with you is at the top, where proper marketers start. We're going to start with the market orientation, do some research, diagnosis. We're going to segment, target, position, and then we're going to look into pricing, place, product, and promotion, and get into branding. Again, my friend Stuart says, here's our problem. Marketers are too busy discussing promotion. This is the fundamental, this way we're going to go. Diagnosis, set a strategy, and we're going to do this for each of your businesses. In this chart here, these are all the ways that you can drive value and profit. And so we're going to work with you to figure out where on these charts can we help you to get greater value and more profit. Jay Abraham says there's only 3 ways to grow your business. You get more customers, you increase the average transaction, the size of your order, and then 3, you increase the number of times they come to you to buy. So what's the job of the marketer? Are you the marketing, your marketing efforts? You need to educate the customer. You are the product or service they need to hire. 2, you need to find as many new customers as possible at the lowest cost. And 3, develop them so they are rebuyers. Marketing inspires. Sales convinces. Sometimes it's not a marketing problem. It is a sales issue. You got to get down and do hand-to-hand combat with the top 50, the top 100 prospects. That will come out in the planning process. Michael Porter is Harvard's famous strategy professor. And he had this to say: competitive strategy is about being different. It means you will choose a different set of activities than anyone else you compete with, and that choice will deliver a unique set of value. But I like Mike Tyson's way of putting it better. Everybody has a strategy until they get hit in the mouth. Then you got to make adjustments. This book, The Art of War, is still referenced by, of all people, I know for a fact, Bill Belichick reads it every year. it is the first manual on how to win in war. And Sun Tzu said all men could see the tactics, but none could see the strategy from which the victory is evolved. From the strategy comes the victory. Strategy without tactics is very slow to get there, and tactics without strategy is defeat. And yet, I work with SCORE clients who come to the meetings and say, well, I want help with this Facebook ad, or wait a minute, hold on. Let me see your marketing plan. I don't have that. What's your budget? I don't have that. And you want to talk about a tactic. What makes you think that tactic is going to work? Strategy is the firm's answer to these two important questions. Where should we be and how should we do it? And we choose a position on the landscape by our business model and the activities that sustain that model. Now, I'm going to guess some of you have watched Mad Men. Fantastic show about the early generation of advertising. Well, this chart does a nice job. And I wonder if they were almost psychic, because if you notice, it ends in 2020. Right when the pandemic came around, it stops. In 2015, 76% of marketers surveyed by Adobe, they sell a suite of products that marketers use. They surveyed VPs, CMOs. 76% of them said marketing had changed more in the last 2 years since all the years television has been around. Now, if you look, Twitter launched, Facebook launched in 2006, the smartphone 2007. That's why they refer to these seismic changes, the internet. And we know how fast things change on the internet. This is what happens from 1 minute on the internet from 2020 to 2021. When you get a chance, check this out. It is very interesting. Every year I pull this down and show it to my students. My friend Graham says, really, we've gotten 2 errors of marketing. 2 errors. One, 1900s to 2010s. We must be where our customers are. We must speak with insights that connect them to us. We must lay out benefits that we know will motivate them. We had that. And then 2011 came around, and the whole rage was, we need the latest technology with more meaningless content that doesn't convert. In our 120 years existence, this is our dumbest decade. Marketing is all these things, not everything that's circled in that red box. And yet there are companies that will come knock on your door and say, we're here to improve your marketing. And they won't even talk about one of these other pieces of success that you need in place. Students in my principles class know the first day we meet. In fact, when the class was smaller, I would bring in actual soft pretzels and lemonade to illustrate my point. I said, every one of you, and principles is a class all business students are required. So I have accounting students, management students, finance students, and marketing students. And I say one advantage you have in this class that no other class, introductory class you're taking, that you know this already. If you've seen a lemonade stand, you understand the marketing mix, because the marketing mix starts with B, product, the lemonade. I tell my students, you could have branded lemonade. You could have Chick-fil-A lemonade and charge $3 a glass. You could have, the cheap Country Time lemonade and the more expensive. Then we come up with our pricing. Place, that's the driveway. That signs the promotion. Hey, they threw in oranges. That whole concept comes from Dr. Jerome McCarthy. It started in 1960. Those 4 Ps still are valid and valuable. And yet I see on the internet, in Twitter, the 4 Ps are no longer valid. Baloney. Malcolm McDonald says you must know, businesses, what are your key target markets in order of priority from number 1, number 2, and number 3. And in each of those key markets, what is your company's sources of differential advantage? This gentleman is Peter Drucker. I call him the grandfather of modern marketing. In 1954, Peter Drucker said there's only one valid definition of a business purpose: to create a customer. And so your business has only 2 business purposes: marketing and innovation. Everything else is a cost. In 1973, he said, he tightened this whole concept up even further. He said, marketing is so basic, you cannot consider it a separate function, such as a separate skill or work or just a department. No, rather, you have to look at it as the whole business seen from your customer's point of view. And if that doesn't radicalize how you look at your business, I don't know what will. I assure you, we are going to be pushing this whole thought. What do customers say? What do they care about? Are we meeting their needs? Now, the AMA has this long drawn out definition. Marketing is these things: activity, institutions, processes. What does it do? It creates, communicates, delivers, exchanges, offering. But the key result is value. We provide value for customers, clients, partners, and society at large. Dr. Philip Kotler, who some argue with me, say he's the father of modern marketing. I disagree. And all these things, you could read this, and we agree with this stuff. We're going to do this stuff as we work with you. And the new marketing concept from marketing-driven management, yes, the customer is so much a part of everything we do as a business. And I want you to review those later. Remember, I told you marketing moves the economic value of your firm up. Now, years ago, they asked Willie Sutton, after he had been caught, I think the 6th time, Willie, why do you rob banks? He said, that's because that's where the money's at. Now, they asked Mr. Gonzuela, who was the chief marketing officer of Coca-Cola, why do we do marketing? To make money, was his response. He said, marketing is strategic action and discipline focused on getting customers to buy more so your company makes more money. It is an investment that is focused on results, not activities. Now, this is the same guy who came up with New Coke, so I don't know if it makes him a good expert, although I would argue that Coke did a smart move there. And they just recently with Coke Zero, they changed the formulation and they changed their packaging, so maybe they're doing it all over again. But the guy that I love to follow, and you'll see a number of articles in our class Dropbox, is Mark Ritson. To me, one of the smartest marketers on the planet. And when he works with a new CEO or president, and he works with the largest companies in the world, he puts his arm around them and says, listen to me. I like marketing because it makes lots of money. And the reason I'm here is I'm going to make you enormous amounts of money you never would have made without marketing. Remember, marketing drives profit and loss at the firm. It is the strategic growth engine. So, this is Ted Levitt. This is the father of modern marketing to me. He wrote, which has been called the greatest article in Harvard Business Review on marketing in the last 50 years. 1960 Harvard Business Review article called Marketing Myopia, meaning marketing nearsightedness. It was the first thing I read at Westchester when I received my MBA. He made an observation. He said the railroads did not stop growing because the need for passengers and freight declined. It did not. It actually grew. The problem is the railroads let others take their customers away because they assumed themselves to be in the railroad business and not the transportation business. They asked Henry Ford, why did you buy the car? He said, well, if I listened to human beings, they would have told me to build a faster horse. They had no concept what I saw coming. Sports Illustrated. If Sports Illustrated saw themselves and they being in the sports information business, we might be watching Sports Illustrated TV tonight on the Final Four basketball tournament. Instead, we watch ESPN. Ted said the purpose of the business is to keep and create a customer. And that is as good a definition of marketing as I could find, to create and keep a customer. These three words, get, build, keep, that is marketing. So what business are you really in terms of what your customer is really buying? In Marketing Myopia, he said, customers don't buy a drill. They buy a drill to put a hole in a wall to hang a shelf. Rolex doesn't sell watches. They sell luxury. Michelin doesn't sell tires. They sell safety. And this modern version, 60 million songs on your wrist. Another important question, one that we're going to get into, is what job are you hiring that milkshake to do? This comes from Clayton Christensen. Their firm was hired to find out how to increase milkshake sales at McDonald's. Traditional market research didn't move the needle at all. So what the researchers did is they sat in McDonald's stores for day after day, recording every hour a milkshake sold. And after a few days of that, they started asking questions. What job are you hiring that milkshake to do? And what other products could you hire instead? They found this insight. 40% were hiring the milkshake to make the morning commute less boring. They could have hired a bagel, but they didn't want to get, it's messy. They could have hired a donut, but that's, a sugar rush. They liked it because it made the commute more enjoyable. And as a result of knowing that insight, they did several things. They added fruit and things inside the milkshake. They moved the machine up so it's easier to get in and out. And their sales increased. I think it was 20% by making these changes. Again, we are going to develop a blueprint for your businesses for which you can compete. Now, when I was at MBA, I learned marketing strategy in one sentence. Either you differentiate your product so much that your customers and prospects pick you over every other option, or else you better be the lowest priced option around because you're just a commodity. Found out those come from Michael Porter. They're his generic marketing strategies. Cost leadership, differentiation, and focus. That's actually niching. And there's a fourth one that I like, customer intimacy. But having spent a long life in sales and marketing practice and study, in fact, at the end of this presentation, I have 31 biases for you to look through that I'm asking you to check out. And if you disagree, I want you to reach back out to me. Needless to say, if I'm going to condense 3 things that I've learned from doing this 30 years practice and 5 years teaching full-time, it's 1, you must be customer oriented. 2, there is nothing we could do to make someone want something they do not. We have to address demand. And 3, branding or marketing that screams, buy me, look how great I am, is not in your customer's interest. How Brands Grow by Byron Sharp changed Marketing Forever. This book was published in 2010. I held to the old worldview before I read this. And the other thing that really impacted my thoughts towards marketing is the incredible ways that behavioral science has made an impact in branding and marketing. First of all, The Choice Factory is a must book for anyone to understand it. Richard Shotton is a genius. And Alchemy by Rory Sutherland, another tremendous book about this topic in marketing. And so these are the things we're going to do with my students, your consultants in their teams. We're going to do market research. In fact, next week, each team will be meeting with our business librarian to provide research support throughout so we can pull all the information that's out there before we start creating research that we do on your behalf. Perceptual maps, we're going to create these for your business. We're going to look at segmenting, targeting, and positioning and how you're doing that currently. We're going to evaluate your markets along these points. We're going to look at your competitors. We're going to look at all the different ways you promote your business. And let me explain the small m, the tactical side. There are short-term diminishing returns and there are long-term scalable things you can do tactically that we're going to get into with you. You know, this is a chain. This is how a decision is made. You become aware of the product, you start considering it, you might make the purchase, we want you to come back, you might become an advocate. And you see this thing with all these emails, social ads. We're going to build this out for you. We're going to build your customer's journey out specifically for your business. That'll be something we'll talk more about down the road. I'm a huge believer in lifetime customer value and customer centricity. And so if we can find out what customers come back, how often they return, how much they spend, we'll get a pretty good idea what they're worth. And that is a powerful insight to have, because here's the lifetime value of a happy, loyal customer. And at the end of the day, we're looking for ways that we can simply be better in ways that matter to the people that you sell to, that you want to be customers of your businesses. Now, Frank Perdue said this, as you well know, if you've ever shopped for chicken, the skin on his chickens was always a dark yellow. He fed them a marigold seed, which made them stand out. This elevated Perdue chicken to the top. And we're all about differentiating your business, your service in ways that matter. Now, my friend Colin says small businesses think their job is to tell the world why they should buy from them. But the problem is 95% of businesses don't even know who you are or even how to buy from you. So the scope of the project are these three things. Situational analysis based on research that begins next week. We will be constantly reaching out to you for input. We hope to have meetings with you at your place of business, as well as in our classroom. We will develop a strategy, and from there, we will build out a tactical plan that you can execute. Now, these are the elements found in a proper marketing plan. Most of these will appear in those places that I just addressed. You will be receiving the following: a written plan and a presentation of that plan by the team. And then lastly, we might be able to help you execute it in the fall in the digital marketing experience class that I teach. That is predicated on how many students are involved. But we might be able to offer you free digital marketing work if the kind of work that you are looking for matches up with the kind of work the students want to perform. You see, this is a student-driven internship. They figure out, and if that's the kind of work you need, they will work with you. So this coming week, the 4th, can't believe April starts on Friday, each client will meet with their teams over Zoom. And so if you have not sent your availability to Kai, I ask you to please do that so we can get these meetings set up with each student team. Again, at the end of this process, we are going to deliver plans for you to compete. Now, don't forget the project Dropbox. I will send you these slides so you can just, that's a link. They can take you right there if you haven't been there yet. I want you to check the stuff out. And I also have a YouTube channel. Some of those people I've mentioned, you could see presentations from them. I've been doing special speakers since COVID hit, and every one of those presentations are available. If you want to learn more about marketing, there's some really good content in there. I recommend it. And again, you could link to that. So I'm not going to go over these biases, but I do at the very end leave an email and my phone number for you to call me or text me. If there's anything in there that you want to discuss, look, I'm a marketing nerd. I love all things marketing. As you remember from the first slide, I love marketing, and I'd be happy to talk about any of this stuff. So that is the presentation that I have completed. Now, I got some clients in here, I do believe. If you want to, if you would help me and maybe, let me see here. I'll go through my list. I know Mark is here. Mark, if you would take yourself off mute and maybe say a few words about yourself and your business and what you're kind of hoping to get out of this, I would appreciate it.
Thank you, Tom. Yeah, so I am with actually a three-spoked company. We started as Treetop Builders, which is a custom treehouse manufacturer. We build treehouses all across the country, anywhere from a $15,000 treehouse to a $500,000 treehouse. So from your backyard treehouse for your kids to something for to live in or rent out as a Airbnb. That evolved into a company called Treehouse Supplies, which focuses on your do-it-yourselfers, or we have a B2B element, which is builders across the country, maybe a smaller builder that needs supplies on how to build safely into trees. So that's where Treehouse Supplies comes in. And our final company is one that hopefully everybody in the Westchester area knows about. It's Treehouse World. So that is our theme park that exists right off 202 Phoenixville Pike, which has tree houses, zip lines, ropes courses, challenge courses, etc. So it's a great attraction that kind of brings in some way the three companies together. So I love the fact that our brands are all about creating fun for the end user, and we really look forward to kind of having you guys take a look at our brands and see how we can be stronger.
Awesome. All right, Erica. I see Erica on there. I do believe you have to be a client. So introduce yourself, please, in your business.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. And I've learned a lot just through your presentation, Thomas. So great job. So I'm with Northwestern Mutual, which might be, a more of a bigger brand that most people recognize. But I run a small district and I am a scratch district. So we brand ourselves here locally in Westchester. We have districts and offices all over the country. And our specialty, we have advisors and different advisor practices. And so we specialize in all areas of financial planning. And what I'm hoping to get out of partnering with Westchester students is my goal is for us to be a more prominent brand in the area and to serve more clients and help more clients achieve financial security. And so we do have a lot of competition. Two ways in which we can grow our district is either vertical growth, which is bringing on new clients for our existing advisors and their practices, and horizontal growth, which is bringing on more financial advisors. And so I am focused on both, but I'm happy to narrow down the focus so that we can have a really solid plan working with you. So thank you for having us, and thanks for selecting us.
Awesome. All right, now, Courtney. Oh, hold on a second. She cannot speak. She cannot speak. All right. So she's waving. We see that wave. All right. Let's move on. We got technical difficulties. All right. Hold on a second. So let's see. I don't want to
Just
miss.
so we know, Courtney's on an internship, and so she's actually in her office. So
Oh,
everyone's
gotcha.
not there.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know. I thought we're missing somebody. Hold on a second. All right. Is Jennifer here?
Yes, hi. Can you hear me?
I can. Jennifer, you want to say a few words?
Yes, hi. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm with St. Agnes School. We're right here in the borough of Westchester. And in fact, this coming year, we're celebrating our 150th anniversary of the school. So I am interested in sustaining the school for another 150 years. And also, I would like to increase our enrollment here at the school. So that's one of the reasons that we're here. Increase enrollment and to retain the current students. And I do recognize several people on this call. So hello, everyone.
Awesome. Awesome. You are 150 years old, just like Westchester University?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
man, if that's not a reason to put something together, I don't know what. We got to get the Rammy over there or something. Don't worry about it. This will be fun. Yeah, I like that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we could have some fun with that squad. All right, so I saw Matt. Matt, I'm a big Slow Hand fan. They got this gigantic chicken wing. That's about it. It is one gigantic chicken wing on a plate. Please introduce Slow Hand, which is a great spot with a Conway Twitty over the bar photo. Love that one.
Yeah, Conway always is watching over there. But yeah, I'm Matt. I'm running the social media for social media marketing for Slow Hand and also Square Bar, which we just picked up. So I'm kind of doing a little bit more like freelance style there, but basically just really looking forward to learning from the program here. And I think our goals really is just to kind of let customers know we're here because we're kind of a newer restaurant and a newer bar and a very competitive bar scene in Westchester. So our goals here are just mainly to build new clients and retain customer engagement. But yeah.
Well, you are the only place in town that I'm aware of that's doing live music as heavy as you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely one of our.
That's a differentiator.
One of our niches, for sure.
We're going to jump on that big time, my friend. That's a differentiator. All right. So, did I miss Joel? Is Joel here? He might not have been able to make it. And if not, how about Dr. Penny? Is Dr. Penny here? Okay. Well, we will follow up with that. Kai, please take a note of this. Guy has a class, so that's why she turned off her computer. She's heading on her way to school. Those are all the prepared remarks I have. Are there any questions about any of this? You could take yourself off mute, or else expect that we're going to put together a meeting time with you for a week from today to meet your team and to kick this off. So that will follow up. If we haven't gotten your availability, we will follow up to make sure we do that. Then we'll put the meetings together. So that will take place. Go ahead.
Tom, I got a quick question. I mentioned our 3 brands. I just want to be prepared. Are you going to allow us to kind of focus on the 3 brands, or do we need to pick one brand that we really want the team to focus on?
Well, I would say it'll be a lot more effective with one. Okay. I mean, you pick the one that, again, if your biggest is Treehouse World and you're going into the summertime. See, I don't know which of those has the greatest chance of growth, but 3 brands is tough.
Great. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. So
I would say pick one that we could go full tilt to. All right. Because I think that makes the most sense. So Dr. Penny's not here and Joel didn't make it. So I'll tell you what, no sense in keeping anyone 1 minute longer. My students know this is my policy. Once we're done, we say good night. Take care, and we'll see you next class, or we'll see you on Zoom or whatever in the modules, but have a nice rest of the day. All right. Take care, everybody. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.